have right now a fire chat with 3 our guests. We have our customer GoOut and our partner Revolgy. They will join here us on the stage. Please warm welcome our colleagues. Stage is yours. I'm curious to hear the GoOut story. Yes, really.
Thank you, Tomáš. Thank you for having us. So, thank you. Let us start with the short introduction about ourselves. So, my name is Miro. I'm a CEO of Revolgy. We are leading Google Cloud Premier partner, actually based out of Prague. And I have the pleasure to welcome guys from GoOut with me, David and Honza. So I would basically start with if you can do like a short introduction and also the reason why you joined GoOut at the first place.
Yes, sure. So I'm David. I'm the CTO of GoOut, and we're a ticketing company / a culture guide. For the Czech audience here, you might be familiar with us a little bit more than the international audience, but that's still on our plan to expand in the international borders as well. I started at GoOut over 6 years ago now, and I actually found the job opening while buying tickets. I was on a website, there was the career section, I clicked it open, and they were looking exactly for someone like me. Back then I was a front-end developer, and it was a perfect match, and I made my way through. About 1.5 years ago I became the CTO, after a very rapid ascent from a front-end developer to a CTO, I would say. But it was a good fit, and I really like it. And it's exactly, as you can see, I bought tickets directly from them by the time when I applied there. So it was a match made in heaven.
Yeah, that's excellent. Did you expect that you will be paid in tickets or in the real money?
I was fine with both. Like, one of the best benefits is actually that we have like quite easy access to tickets to concerts, and I still use them to today.
Yeah, cool. Honza, what's your story?
Yeah, so my name is Jan, and I'm data lead at GoOut. So I'm taking over or looking over all the data that flows through the GoOut and all of our partners. And I joined GoOut like 1.5 years ago. And the best thing that David told me on a job interview was, hey, you can build our data infrastructure by yourself. So that was my main goal till this day, and I really enjoyed it, because we can do a lot of things with the data here.
Excellent, excellent. What would you say is the main thing why you enjoyed the GoOut so much?
I would say the lot of various data, because like we are a ticketing company, and selling tickets sounds really easy, and but every single sale is different, and it's really different when you're selling concert. It's really different when you're selling the summer festival, and it really changes the customer behavior as well. So when you have really various data from your customers, also from your platforms like applications and mobile applications, also we have our own marketing channels. So you can combine really those data together to get some really interesting insights, not only for ourselves, but also for our partners.
Okay, excellent. Guys, maybe before we will, dive into the data infrastructure itself, how many of you, can you, raise the hand if you ever purchased the ticket on the GoOut?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow.
See?
That's beautiful.
You have some people to convert still. Otherwise, quite a good audience.
It might not be the Czech part of the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe just to start, what was the main reason why to even hire Honza for the data infrastructure and go for this journey?
Well, for a very long time, in GoOut, we developed more feeling-based features. So our CEO would come inside and he comes up with a feature. There was no anything data-driven behind. It was like him feeling we need a feature. There was no way to actually verify, has it been successful? Was it worth it implementing it? And one of my first things when I took over was we need to have like a more hypothesis-driven one, a more data-driven decision-making. So after we implement something, we need to be able to verify if it works for both of our clients and our B2B promoters, which are also very important. And that's basically where he came in. and he was able to start from scratch. I basically gave him all the freedom, and he really utilized the Google Cloud to build up our data warehouse and data infrastructure.
And maybe on to the question to you, what was your perception of the infrastructure back then, and what's your perception right now? What were you hoping for, coming to the journey together also with us? What was your hypothesis for the outcomes, and what is the reality nowadays?
Yeah, so when I joined, I was told that all the data that we have is black box, and no one knows what's inside. But when I joined, like, there was production database with transaction data, all the data that is on a website, also some marketing systems, but they're all split out in own systems. And the first main goal was to get the data at one place and start really using them for some insights. So that was the main, goal and the first thing to do. And the perception was, yeah, it's not that bad, but right now it's definitely much better. And I think that we are on the right way.
Were you getting a lot of requests from the management or the partners regarding different reports and stuff like that? So you basically need to provide that to them because of this data siloed or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, like back then, those data requests were handled by backend team, but backend team should be mainly focused on the development and not for those reporting stuff. So right now, as we moved forward with the data infrastructure, we can really move all those requests to the data team. And also we have our self-service, let's say, BI platform, where our data stakeholders or people from a GoOut can utilize the data themselves right now.
So you have basically full data democratization for the people inside the company. They can self-serve themselves. But you do not only serve the people inside GoOut, right? So you have like external stakeholders. Can you describe how this works?
Yeah, that's true. Because we have partners and we have promoters that are selling the tickets through us. And when you're a promoter and you're having concert at Friday evening, and your concert is ending at the midnight, you want to have a reporting right away. So we need to be able to serve them even at 1 a.m. by themselves. So they need to be able to just click and get the report of the event right after the event. So that's also the point of the reporting that we need to take care of as well.
Yeah. Also, what about the management and the group owner and the stuff from this, let's say, governance reporting perspective?
Yeah, that's also the big part because we need to be able to report not only our financial stats, but also how is the traffic on our website, how the application is doing, and what the people actually doing on our website, if all the features are being used. So we needed to make also the platform for reporting for them, and we did custom integration into the Power BI, their Power BI. So they are able to pull data from our GCP to their systems. And also we have our own Looker Studio where we can share the reports with them. So we needed to be able to spread out data to all the various stakeholders that are working with us.
Yeah, maybe it's also a good time you just touch the Looker Studio. How is the stack actually looking right now? What are the components of GCP you are using and why? How they serve you?
Yeah, so the main part is the production database, which is managed Cloud SQL running in a GCP, and then we are utilizing the data stream for real-time integration into the BigQuery. And BigQuery is for us the big data lake where we store all the data, not only the production ones. But also, as I mentioned, we have a lot of marketing tools like Meta Ads, TikTok Pixels, we have Google Analytics. So we are moving all the data in real time from those tools into the BigQuery as well. Then we have some pipelines for getting exchange rates from Česká národní banka. And we are really focusing on having one data lake where we have the layer of the raw data, and then we have a layer of the, let's say, analytical layer where we doing the more complex structures of the data that we can use then for reporting, for sending to the partners, exposing them through the API. So that's the main part of our data infrastructure right now. And also, we are testing the embedding of the data within our website, and we are using Apache Superset for that, which is available inside the GCP. So we have managed Apache Superset running in a Kubernetes cluster that getting data from a BigQuery, and we are embedding it then to our website.
Cool. Maybe David, question to you. You mentioned that it was a lot like a feeling-driven. How it's now working with the ability to set up the hypothesis and do the release, then testing the hypothesis against the reality and lessons learned out of it and stuff like that. Because the tooling is one thing, but how it is working from like a different way of working or different mindset perspective.
Yeah, we basically noticed that a lot of our assumptions were wrong. The way how we think that people use our website is not always exactly accurate. And once you have the data to look into it, we were able to manage our resources better, really focus on the parts where people are using it, and that's where a lot of our tracking data comes into place, where we really try to understand what do people do on our website and not focus on developing features which we like and we think we're fine, but really see what is the majority of people using. And the product data which we're collecting here is really helping us with these things.
It's interesting because I was, expecting that the outcome will be that you will do the data democratization, so the people will be able to like self-serve and to get whatever reports they need from the finance or sales or even a CEO or even the group owner. But the side effect of this whole endeavor, as you mentioned, there are like two critical from the business perspective. One is actually that you are able to serve the promoters better. So do you have higher probability that the promoters for the particular concert will actually go through GoOut and not one of the competitors? Maybe can you a bit elaborate on this?
Yes, data obviously helps immensely. Like promoters want to know every little bit and piece of information they can about their customers and how they can sell more tickets the next time. By the way, how we have it consolidated now, it's quite easy to look at regression data and kind of make small correlations and bigger forecasts, which are quite attractive for promoters to see how they can utilize their marketing budget. Like what have we learned from the past? There's some big festivals who like to see year to year how many clients have been retained, how many people come back, how many people buy a ticket again, and what they can do to increase that. And yeah, by having all the data in one place, like not only from how they use the product, but also how do we sell, and having it in environment like BigQuery, where you have a lot of public data sets, where you can make assumptions based on weather. Like you look, for example, how has a theater been selling when the weekend was rainy, and how was it selling when the weekend was sunny? It's obviously just like one correlation, but having the data consolidated like that really helped with that.
Maybe just for the audience and for their imagination, how competitive is the market in Czech from your space?
It's extremely competitive, and that's where again the data helps to have like the slight edge over other companies. I don't know if some people are familiar with markets like in the US where you have Ticketmaster, or in Germany where you have Eventim, which is like a very monopoly kind of market. Here in Czech Republic and also Poland, where we also used to operate quite heavily, it's extremely competitive. So there's a few things which promoters consider, and one is obviously how many tickets can you sell, but the other one is also what is your commission. And then there's the fight between competitors, like, oh, we undersell you, our commission is lower. But if we have the data speaking for us, that's always like a good indicator and a good point of discussion with potential future promoters and comparing it to competitors.
Yeah, so you are basically playing this constant game, being the best choice for the promoters on one side, and we already discussed that, but also being the best choice for the actual users, like the general public, like us, to actually buy from you. So maybe can you elaborate also on this side from the customer experience perspective? Where do you see any particular use cases that go better because of having a better data, how the people behave on the? You mentioned it a bit in generic. Do you have any particular use cases or examples you can share?
Yes. So one of our big pluses of our website is how fast can you buy a ticket. How long does it take you from finding a concert to adding it and to buying it? And a big difference to a lot of ticketing platforms, which you have seen, is where you add it to a shopping basket, then you go to the checkout page, then you fill in your information, and we basically count the amount of clicks it takes for someone to buy a ticket. We compare this with competitors, and that's also some where it's extremely easy on GoOut to use it, and where we utilize basically how do people click through it. Like, do we need a shopping basket? And we realized less than 2% of people buy tickets for 2 different concerts at once. So does it make sense to have a shopping basket in this environment? We decided no.
Have you measured the impact? Was there any, what was your experience or the expectation, whether you had the shopping basket and you don't have?
We didn't do like a proper A/B test. We do sometimes like direct product tests in the public. Like we would go, for example, to parks and have people we try to find people who have never seen GoOut and make them buy a ticket, and then we show them a competitor website and make them buy a ticket, and then we basically analyze and ask them, what do you prefer? How long did it take? But in specific numbers, business numbers, what was the benefit of it? I can't tell that.
You can do it afterwards with some of the people who didn't raise hand before.
Yes.
So that's all excellent, and again, thank you for the cooperation. Can you mention a bit what were the topics where Revolgy helped, and what is our cooperation right now?
Yes, sure. So when I took over 1.5 years, I basically took the business from the last CTO, who was also the founder, and GoOut was founded like 14 years ago now. And as you can imagine, with a lot of these big scale applications, there's a lot of technical debt kind of like accumulating. And if you don't have the time, don't take the time to completely rewrite from scratch, you maybe have a few iterations of refactoring. But all in all, there's just like feature stacked on feature, feature stacked on feature. But we ran into an issue that part of our infrastructure was already written with infrastructure in code, which makes it very easily deployable, and also emergency recovery. But the last CTO was also our DevOps. And with him departing, I now had the choice to either hire a new DevOps who basically sacrifices his life, because that's what the last owner did. To be able to have this website running, you really need someone 24/7 making sure that this thing survives. So either I sacrifice my life, I hire someone who does it, or I find a partner who specializes on spreading this workload out. And the very first step was you helped us with the infrastructure as code to have it like a one-click deploy solution. And that helped then, of course, with the incident and operations management, where we also use your services. And I have like an example there from last year where we didn't have that yet, because sometimes in the worst case scenario, our website just goes down on the worst possible times. And last year we had a big issue while there was Rock for People, which is our biggest festival which we're selling. And I actually like it as well. So I was off, I was at Rock for People, I was in front of a stage, and I get a call that something is broken on the website, and I need to stand in the audience at Rock for People with my phone, try to go through a dashboard and try to get it back running, because we didn't have a dedicated DevOps. We didn't have like an emergency contact. We didn't have 24/7 support. And that basically was a big Kickstarter for me to look for help.
I can imagine that. That's the best, to have like a burning platform to solve your, problems. Just for clarity, no one is sacrificing life in Revolgy. We have, we have the managed service, the 24/7. It's a nice methodology that we follow. So it's not like that. But I like that, guys from GoOut can actually go out and enjoy, the shows and the concert now, and have a peace of mind. Also, you were quite mentioned in the news recently around the M&A, activity. Can you maybe elaborate a bit on that? And also, I think it's connected to the future of what you are, up to.
Yes. So in the big picture, basically, GoOut has been acquired about 2 years ago now, almost, by an Estonian investment company called PLG. They also have an Estonian ticketing platform themselves, and they are now looking to expand. Part of this is on the Czech market. GoOut has acquired TicketStream, so we were growing quite quickly, quite big, but that should not be the end. And again, to make this a proper process, to grow bigger, to become close to the market leader, we need to utilize data. And our investment company basically bought a lot of companies around Europe, like from Poland to Romania, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Latvia, Lithuania, the Baltics, and everyone has their own system, and everyone has their own way of handling data. And we actually, by having Hansa here setting up our data infrastructure as it is, they actually saw it as a good example, and we will now be leading the effort on the global European-wide stage as well to consolidate it in a very similar manner as we have set it up. So mainly focused around BigQuery, and once the data is in BigQuery, you have a lot of options what to do from AI. Obviously, everybody wants to hear about AI, and everybody thinks about AI. That might be a topic for next year, how we will utilize AI on top of all the data which we have now consolidated. But we will be leading the global initiative for the data warehouse for all of the companies which they're buying up now in pursuit of market leadership.
Do you expect them to buy even more? Also, because for Honza, I think it will be quite interesting. He's obviously looking forward for the challenge, and it will be quite a diverse zoo of the different providers and the technologies, I assume.
Yeah, it's already a quite challenge because we are always, when there's a new acquired company, we are getting all the requirements for the reporting, requirements for the partners, but also we are getting the current state of their system and the data. And yeah, I was a bit surprised, but a lot of those companies are still running on-prem and on very, very old on-prem. And it's sometimes really hard to find a way how to move the data, and not only move the data one time, but when you are switching from one system to another, you still need to keep the data flowing from one system and to be then moved to another system. So to write down connectors like that is quite challenging, but it's always, it's really moving you, because when you find some issue in one system and then you move to another system, you can expect that similar problems can happen. So it's challenging, but sometimes it's really moving you to have the most robust system.
Yeah, because I think you are like humbling, describing this. We will set up one, data platform, but the business context of all of those is the same as yours. So they can, win even more, promoters and even more customers if they will be able to provide the same level of experience to both of those. So it's like a business critical endeavor that you are basically, starting and being responsible for. So I think it's also, great, and kudos that team from Czech is actually the one doing it for the whole, pan-European basically group, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most important, maybe for the closing remarks from your perspective, going forward to the future? Also, you heard a lot about AI and stuff. So what's your opinion about the future from not only this perspective?
Like for us, the strategy is clear. As I said, we need to consolidate the data, have the platform that can serve to everyone, every single data stakeholder that we have. But for us, the strategy for us is really need to have the overview of the pipelines, have everything sorted out, and have the good monitoring. Because if you have 7 different systems, you really need to be sure where can be the issue, what's the issue, and how to solve the issue. Because when you are having a tracking on a website and it fell down, okay, it's not that much of a problem. But when you are selling real tickets to the real people and they need to have those tickets generated, and you need to have a noted that you already, for example, send this ticket to the people, that's really problematic. So the monitoring and having the pipeline sorted out is like the highest priority for us right now.
And David, from your perspective, would you elaborate also?
Get bigger, get better, and I mean that's our goal. Like that's what we need to do. That's what we try to need the data for, and utilize machine learning on top of it, like forecasting. That's really something which we want to look into. There's obviously a lot of things you can optimize through having this much data being analyzed by AI. And in my opinion, this is kind of like the future where I want to look and be more efficient, focus more on actually utilizing all this big data, because the very first step was to accumulate it, have it, but what good does data do if you don't work with it? And that's kind of like where I see us going.
Yeah. Thank you. I think that you are excellently positioned for that going forward. And once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for the speech. I hope that it was interesting for the audience. And see you around. Thanks for being a customer.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.